The best way to control the opposition is to lead it ourselves. Vladimir Lenin. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, that was some weird stuff. I wanted this out early, but YouTube wasn't cooperating. Anyways, don't know what happened. Every time I went live, YouTube showed the link to the video as video not available or not video removed. It was weird. Anyways, I tried some different things and this one worked. So I mean, I didn't do anything different than I normally do, so I have no idea what it was about. I just blame it on YouTube. Okay, so I'll go with the, hey, Shirley, how's it been going? Shirley Vic says, let me just go ahead and do that. Shirley Vic, and now the chat ain't showing it. But anyways, Shirley, maybe I just need to reload it. Let's just reload it. Which is weird, Shirley, because can you type in chat again? I'm doing a test. Well, Restream IO's not doing so well here. Oh, no, it's there. It's just slow. Shirley, can you type in chat? Wow, there's some weird stuff afoot. Anyways, let me just do my usual start. Okay, so all of my content is always free. You're never gonna get more somewhere else by paying for it, having some monthly fee or whatever. Everything's always gonna be free, the whole thing. Sometimes, like YouTube won't allow me to live stream, so most of the time what I would do is get everyone over to somewhere else, like LBRY. Which LBRY I upload all the videos that I do, and it's on a blockchain. DLive only. If I had enough subscribers on DLive or followers, all of my content would exist there for a long time. Instead, it disappears after a couple of days since I don't have enough subscribers. Steam it or via vim.tv, that stuff doesn't stay around, so until I have my own website up or something like that, which I don't want to do and just clog it with my videos, because then my website gets taken down. Or if I die, no one's gonna upkeep it. So, you know, I just want this out there as many platforms as possible. BitChute is a good one where it uploads a lot of my content. All right, my chat and my restream is working. Hi Shirley. Hi Kathy B. Let's show you there real quick that it is working good. All right. Anyways, if you wish to donate to me via Bitcoin or Vertcoin, you may do so. Vertcoin, they have the blockchain explorers you can go to, and you can see, I'll just do a refresh. There's been 3 transactions only, and a long time ago, these 2 were money from me taken out of my Patreon, going to Susie Dawson when she needed it. I wasn't getting enough anyway. Vertcoin, no one's donated, so it's been 17 plus months where I haven't gotten anything. But I have had Google Super Chats, and thank you for that. Same thing with PayPal.me. The only one who's donating is Mia, just short for Mia. And I disclosed on the first video of the month how much I'm getting for that, for the previous month and for my total, and this was set up on September 22nd, 2019. If you don't have anything to donate, you can prove the globe Earth and get $15,000 from Zen Garcia. Just take it to court, should be pretty easy, and the judge will find it in your favor that the Earth has indeed been proven as a globe from you, and therefore Zen Garcia would have to pay you $15,000. And if that happens, just donate to me, maybe a 10% finder's fee, you know, something like that. And of course, make sure to join the Flat Earth People Finder at zoomtruth.com, where all is this gonna work? It didn't earlier, maybe it will now. It does now. All right, good. And that is going to be built up a lot more. It has been built by Greg, which is at Flat Earth Politics, and a lot of this was thought of by Dave, who is at Zoom Truth. You can always join me on my live streams. I always put the Zoom meeting information there. So sometimes when I am handling some information that I want people to look at, I will either keep you in the waiting room or I let you in, but hope that you'll mute yourself. And if that becomes a problem, then I'll probably put you back in the waiting room. But sometimes I will interact with you saying, okay, what are your thoughts on this part? So, you know, it's all about how you behave, especially if people are out there behaving not so well. Yeah, you know, it's expected that's going to happen. Links are usually in all my videos where you can go to it with some descriptions about it. And I will go over each of these in this video. So got a lot to look at. While we're looking at the I'm looking at the chat real quick. Yeah, some screwy stuff. Now, one of the things that we need to make sure of, and that's alluded to in the quote by Vladimir Lenin, which I don't really know too much about. I may do one on him because his quotes seem to be a lot of with what is going on right now. And I will show you some quotes of his, which is quite interesting. It's kind of revealing the truth of some certain things. All right, so Vladimir Lenin quotes, "A lie often enough becomes the truth. Without a revolutionary theory, there cannot be a revolutionary movement. Give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted." Let's see. When there is state, there can be no freedom, but when there is freedom, there will be no state. There's just a lot of these sayings that just seem to be, yeah, he's pushing something, and so far it's very 1984-ish, before 1984 was written. Anyways, the reason why is I'm going to do a video coming later on tonight, because I don't think I'll have time to do it this afternoon, which is going to go over the video I did a live stream on yesterday, which was about the Seattle. No, not yesterday. Shoot, I was sick all day yesterday. I was asleep, so I couldn't have done anything. On 11/3, which is on November, which is the Seattle 11/3, and I did a video before whether there's any merit to it. See, is there any merit to the 11/3 false flag prediction 2019? I didn't think so, and I did a live stream that was for 5 hours on the Seattle 11/3 2019 nothing burger, where I just showcased the CCTV live stream. And yes, nothing did occur, and that is great. And one of my hunches were, and there's going to be a couple really, but one of the main things is just we keep getting all these things associated with people trying to look for the truth, and they get thrown in all these little tidbits of information, conspiracy theories concocted up probably by the same ones who have been lying to us. And we have to spend time and time again just to kind of go into it and just say, yeah, this probably has no merit whatsoever. For example, one of the things that have been associated with flat Earth was, remember that video by New Earth? And I don't follow New Earth. I do subscribe to her. She has another video up, but New Earth, you have no idea what she looks like or who she is. Did the video or passed on the video is of there are no forests in flat Earth, on flat Earth. And then after that, I mean, that's just making people think that what mountains are just huge trees. And look what the mainstream media did with it. They go, ha ha ha, look, flat earthers, they have a bizarre conspiracy theory that trees don't exist. And then now they got one for 9/11. Look, all the people who thought 9/11 was a false flag, well, guess what? They thought that on 11/3/2019, there's going to be a big false flag in Seattle. We're probably going to see articles like this about that. We probably will. And when it happens, I'm just going to show that and live stream that too. And so a lot of this stuff, they're controlling it. Because we have no idea. It's pretty easy to spot out because it always starts out with people who are anonymous, pretty much. You don't know their names, you don't know their faces, and it's pitched to the conspiracy theory crowd, people who look for the truth, and see if they go ahead and do that. And yeah, a lot of people were fooled from there are no forests on flat Earth. And then the truther community starts pushing out the same narratives that it seems like they want pushed out. There are people who I followed in the truther community because I like some of the things that they covered and talked about, especially the anarchists. But those anarchists start also pushing out material. What's that one material where there was a huge kingdom before and all the architecture stuff, right? They're pitching that one. And again, that is something that started off with someone anonymous, someone with no name, really no hard evidence. It's just all circumstantial, looking at old pictures. There could be merit to it, but I mean, honestly, why are people latching onto something where it's from some anonymous person? It's like, oh, this anonymous person is pitching out this crazy theory. Let's go ahead and put some validity to it. Anyways, so going to this topic, I did one back on Barbara Hammer where she mentioned she was on the CIA payroll.
And so actually, technically, I was on the CIA payroll.
And she's linked to churchdog42, which they both collaborate on a lot of things. And you can even see in transcripts, BB Hammer. Oh, there's Aunt BB already on a comment. But I'm trying to find on. All right, here we go on the 1016. I'm going to move back later here.
Aunt BB being one of them, but some of Aunt BB's contacts also.
So yeah, so he's working with someone who admits being on the CIA payroll. Now, Julian Assange. Now that's a big name in a lot of big name really now. Even in mainstream media, he's hated on mainstream media. There's been a lot of people who are activists and trying to free him from his situation. There aren't many whistleblowers in this world, and the ones who have been hammered. They've been killed or imprisoned. And so it strikes to me when someone goes, well, he's just a CIA honeypot. And I'm like, oh, this person is saying he's a CIA honeypot. Let me know what those reasons are. Let me see the evidence, whether it's direct evidence or if it's circumstantial. At least show me the evidence so I can determine whether it is. Anyways, churchdog42, Scott Creighton, he did a video today, November 6, 2019, my final dissertation on Saint Assange of the Deep State. So, prediction, and I don't predict very much. this won't be his last dissertation on Julian Assange. This won't be his last video on Julian Assange. He's going to keep it going. And now I'm going to go ahead and play back snippets. And he's going to try to answer some questions. I don't think it's ever answered because here in the description box that I write up, there's the key timestamps. So from on the 60-minute 11 seconds, now he says he answered the original question as to Julian Assange and WikiLeaks being a CIA asset. So from 9 minutes 34 seconds to 60 minutes 11 seconds, we should hear the answer to that. And then at the 37 mark and 58 seconds, he says he answers the question to the collateral damage between 60 minutes and 37 minutes and 58 seconds. So we're going to see if he does answer that. And then all these other times he says he's answering it, which he doesn't. He really doesn't start until 9 minutes 34 seconds. And will we see the answer to it? Well, we'll see. So I'm gonna put out my notes, and let's see if it's answered. I would like to know. I would like to see if there's evidence for Julian Assange being a CIA honeypot. I mean, we do know that Barbara Hammer, Aunt Bibi, is that really her name? Was on the CIA payroll. She even admits to it. She says it. Okay, so let's keep going.
Sorry, but he asked me, what evidence have you compiled that points to Assange WikiLeaks being a CIA asset? Why would they leak early footage like collateral murder plus thousands of cables and war logs? The intelligence community's reoccurring nightmare is WikiLeaks. Okay. This means we're going to have to delve into the mythology that is not only Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, but also collateral murder. But we're going to hold off on that for 1 second while I sip my coffee.
Ah, that's killing me already. Okay, so when someone asked me why I'm a flat earther, I've got something simple. Well, one, and it's not gonna, I don't need to sip my coffee or tea right here. Wait a second, here it is. It's because of Stephen Hawking in Three Birds. You can see it. There's a link to my video. You can find it on my video section, and it shows you in 2.5 minutes or less exactly why. If not that, there's one where I don't even talk, which is this one, PB is Genius by Stephen Hawking, because there aren't many times when the official narrative, mainstream, not even the government or NASA will show you demonstrations of the curvature of the Earth, where one of them, which they always say, which was also said by the guy who did Cosmos, I'm forgetting his name right now, Carl Sagan, because he's a big scientist in the day, and well, it's right there. It's just showing you straight in the face. They finally did it on a public PBS with someone who does work at NASA, who promotes NASA, and someone who says she's a scientist but doesn't say she's a scientist in this video. Only 416 views, only 14 likes, and to think that someone like Scott Creighton, who only has 270 views, he's not doing a good job for the CIA, whatever. That's like, you're Scott Creighton and BB pushed, like, because why am I pushing a CIA psyop or Tavistock agenda of flat Earth? It's like, what? Prove to me any of that stuff. First off, why would they want to push something like this where you can verify that, yeah, there's a flat Earth, but there's only 14 people who liked it, one person disliked it. And yet when you have an opposition video where you've got flat Earth debunked, discovery, channel, which is blocked in the U.S. There's this flat Earth. I'm gonna have to go to the other videos, huh? Which you can watch. Why is a PBS YouTube video debunking globe Earth blocked in America? So here we go. And where is the link? Here's the link, and it's unavailable in the US, but it's got 3.8 million views, 71,000 likes, 14,000 dislikes, and it's PBS, United States.
Stream your choice of entertainment.
PBS is based in the United States. Why would they block content from it and show it in every other country but the US? And so the people who watch the same video, which I show you that where they're proving the globe Earth or debunking flat Earth, and I show you exactly that they manipulated the video, they edited the video. Anyone could look at it on their own, and therefore they're faking it. And this is just one of the few times, if any, that they show curvature of the Earth, or at least the observation of, which will easily prove the Earth being a globe because of Earth curvature, which now they fake that result. And therefore, if you're gonna fake it, and this is the one time that you show that it is curved, then yeah, I ain't following the globe Earth belief. And that's all you have to say. But let's see if Scott Creighton can be that precise
and pat my co-host on the head. To answer his question, to answer your question, Elliot, which, listen, I don't do this for every single question that's asked of me on Twitter, and so don't ask me a bunch of fucking questions and say, hey, Scott, can you answer this question? Can you spend an hour talking about this on this? No, I can't. To answer your question, I've covered a lot. Now, this is my personal archive, and it is in...
He's covered a lot. To answer his question, he's covered a lot, and he's got a personal archive. Doesn't answer the question.
Incomplete. If you don't know, Elliot, I was kicked off of WordPress for no reason, because I certainly didn't violate any of their guidelines, and they knew that, but they had to get rid of me, so they kicked me off WordPress.
Just because they kicked you off WordPress doesn't mean Julian Assange is a CIA asset, so keep going.
In 2018, my blog that I had been running since 2007. And then, of course, I was kicked off YouTube.
Yeah, but you're still on YouTube, so you're not kicked off. So keep going. That still does not answer the question.
That long after or before? Before. I don't remember. My first channel, American Everyman channel. And so a lot of stuff I lost. There are other, if you go to my Twitter feed, you will see there's a link to a Before It's News archive of some of my stuff. Shadowproof still has some of my stuff up. And these things, if you kind of link the times with and the dates with, lay them over top of each other like this, you can get a kind of comprehensive collection of what I'm missing from my archives. But this is just some...
At this point, you should be an expert. You've compiled all this information various times. Now, just point to some in order. What are some of the most important evidence that you've accumulated after all this time for years and years? Instead of having people search for it, people ask you a question. Yeah, they expect you to answer it. Let's see if you answer it within the hour. You have an hour and 5-minute video, 35 seconds additional. This is your final dissertation on the whole Saint Assange of the deep state. The answer should be here, right? There should be an answer. But do we find one?
My stuff up until about 2016. I covered
painful.
A lot. I wrote a lot about, and I did a lot of research into Julian Assange and the WikiLeaks psychological operation that it is. And here's just an example. I think this is
All right,
one.
we're going to have an example.
I don't have this one up on my website as of the moment, but as this video processes, I will put this one up on my website under the archive section, under where it says Julian Assange. And if you don't want to go to my website, what I can do is just slowly scroll through, and you can stop the video and read for yourself.
Instead of us reading it, why don't you just tell us?
Okay, this is just one of many that I have written in terms of, it took me a little while to develop
He's not going
the
to tell us.
understanding that I have these
You know
days
why he's
of
not going to tell us?
Julian Assange and WikiLeaks.
There's no evidence.
I knew something was wrong right off the bat, and as I worked on it,
How do you know something was wrong right off the bat?
it just got stinkier and stinkier and stinkier. Now, to answer
Why
your
was it
question
stinky?
specifically today, where can you go? Because I'm going to put
All right.
more of those things up on my website over the next couple of days, because people are asking.
Yeah, we've
for
been
some of my
asking for a
older
long
stuff on
time.
Julian Assange and how I came to this conclusion. You will be able to find this. This is an archived work. If we lose our internet freedoms because of WikiLeaks, you should at least know why. This is an in-depth, long article I wrote.
Break it down, fella.
Dealing with Julian Assange and WikiLeaks back in 2010. As you can tell, here we go. The Washington Post, Time Magazine, and Cass Sunstein were promoting him before WikiLeaks ever published a single fucking leak. And if that isn't a fucking red flag, I don't know what is.
Okay, so a red flag because mainstream media were going to publish the leaks, but they didn't publish the leaks. They published that he leaked some things, but they didn't publish any of his leaks. And then after that, we just see a lot of opposition from the mainstream media on Julian Assange. Now, let's go ahead and do a Julian Assange. Let's look how well they view Julian Assange from mainstream media. Which you're not seeing a lot. But I wish that the tools for custom range, say from here to here, say to 4.6 from 2017. Can we look at some older ones? There have been, and you know, here's the Guardian and everything you need to know. Washington Post, how he went into it, and all this other stuff. You're gonna just see a lot of probably not so good stuff about him. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so the accusations doesn't say that those accusations were retracted. Standoff. Oh yeah, they dropped part of the investigation, but hold on to the rape investigation. Makes no sense. Fear for his cat's well-being and food hygiene. Yeah, that pitch. Talking nothing about what the actual leaks represented. Not once. It goes How did he end up in Ecuadorian embassy? What was the reason why? They're saying it's because of rape accusations. It doesn't really talk about the actual military diplomatic documents where it exposed corruption. It exposed very nefarious stuff. Doesn't go into that. Let's just talk about his cat, and let's talk about his accusations, his charges. Anyways, let's keep listening to this guy. I'm sorry. This is torture for me. Is it torture for anyone else? It's torture for me.
But this is the Julian Assange category. I talked about Julian Assange on BB. Hero worship leaves
At BB CIA asset payroll.
you blind, deaf, and very dumb. There's older ones on here. You have to. I think I'm only allowing 10 per page.
I mean, I don't believe in worship, but you should probably look up to heroes, because heroes do things for other people without regarding themselves in the process. Those are people we should look up to. I mean, we shouldn't worship anybody, but if you're going to come close to worshiping, I would say you probably want to do so with good people. The people who speak the truth, no matter what happens to them.
Gospel, the canonization of Saint fucking Assange. The Julian as Jesus trope has begun, and I'm serious. That's a thing. There's a number of things that I have written. Some recently, mostly videos.
Again, he just accounts to, oh, it's proven he's a CIA asset because look at all these things I've written. Just tell us briefly 3 most important reasons why Julian Assange is a CIA asset. That's it, 3. And if you want to read more, here's more. But I'll doubt he gets to that by the time we reach the... What? It's killing me. By the time we reach the 16-minute and 11-second mark. All right, let's keep going.
Recently, but I have written some stuff recently about him. That's my favorite picture of Saint Assange. So, to answer your question, if you go to Nomadic Everyman...
to answer his question, he hasn't answered it yet. After he answered it yet. After he answered it, what's going on? All right, 9 minutes. He's gonna say to answer your question again. But yeah, he sounds. Here we go.
And you just scroll down till you see the Julian Assange category on the right hand side. You will find Elliot. Partial collection of my stuff. Like I said, I will add some of the earlier stuff.
Second time, he goes, to answer your question, here's a link to partial some of my stuff, and I'm gonna add more later. This is his final dissertation. Like imagine having a final dissertation for your master's or your PhD, and you're going, here's my final dissertation. This is why this is. Here's some links. That won't go very well.
To it, as time permits. As some of you know, I've got other constraints on my time here at the house, but I will do that. And for those of you who are asking on direct message, Aunt BB being one of them, but some of Aunt BB's contacts also.
Again, Aunt BB. This is Aunt BB's talking about.
And so actually, technically, I was on the CIA payroll.
That's where you'll be able to find them. And I will, as I post the archived stuff, I will post it to Twitter, so you'll be able to, if you have my Twitter notifications on, you'll be able to see when I post them up and when there's new stuff up. Okay, there you go. So that's out of the way. Let's deal with this.
Yes, let's deal with it.
That's to answer your first question. what evidence have I compiled? Lots. Let's talk about... I'm trying to decide whether I should go current or I should go collateral damage first. I'll answer his question first. Sometimes when you have an asset, if this asset is going to be something that you want to promote as a means of a controlled, limited hangout asset, or somebody who's supposedly in the alternative news industry segment, who's going to only go so far and control. And sometimes what you want to do is you want to give them something big that people can latch on to, the people that see the world the way you want that particularly targeted population who see the world that way. You want to give them something big to grasp onto. When they will look at it and think that it is a big revelation, oh my God, this is something, this is huge, look at this. I'm going to follow this guy. When in actuality, if you step back for a second and you don't have those rose-colored glasses on, and you just look at it, you realize there's nothing much to this. I'll give you two examples. Well, I'll give you 3 examples.
Please, 3 examples.
The first example is Alex Jones. When he first started off, he got his Bohemian Grove video. Somehow or another, he managed to...
Julian Assange is no freaking Alex Jones. Alex Jones. That's one example. Look, yeah. Alex Jones, I would say, is most likely controlled opposition. But he's no Julian Assange. I mean, what is it? Bill Cooper said he's... Bill Cooper, who knew what was coming in the pipeline, predicted the 9/11 event. He didn't predict the date of the 9/11 event. He predicted what was going to occur. And then he got offed. Said Alex Jones was a lying scumbag and whatnot. Yeah, Alex Jones. Just throw Alex Jones, which almost everybody knows is part of it. A lot of people don't. But hold reservations on it. Some people hold reservations on Alex Jones. Fine. But Julian Assange, Alex Jones, they are no way in the same boat.
Sneak onto Bohemian Grove with all of these world leaders and all of these fucking billionaires and all of their combined security people, and none of them thought, hey, maybe we should cover the woods as well, according to Alex Jones, that fat, slow, out-of-shape bastard. So he walks through the woods with his buddy and an old 1998 fucking video camera secretly hidden away in a fucking, briefcase? Supposedly, and he is able to get onto the fucking grounds, walk around, and then film the cremation of care ceremony, which of course was nothing. But what he didn't film was any goddamn politicians. He didn't film any fucking celebrities. He really didn't film anybody in terms of their face that was recognizable, or anybody to start with. Maybe a bunch of fucking actors at the...
And that's why there's nowhere, anywhere near Julian Assange. Julian Assange exposed stuff from the elite, the actors, the movie directors, producers, CIA itself, politicians. Nowhere near Alex Jones. So using Alex Jones as an example, it's not in your favor there.
They hired. The whole thing was obviously, if you step back and look at it, staged. From the ridiculousness of the setup, how he got onto the location, to the fact that nobody is shown, and the whole thing was just fucking silly and stupid. But it was, there was spectacle to it. And so his followers would look at that and go, wow, he's a truth teller. He's taking a risk. He's out there. And so he gets credibility. Someone bought him that credibility. Someone allowed him to do that. By the same token, what happened with Luke Rudkowski? Not only him being able somehow to walk up to fucking someone like...
Second, is Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change. Yeah, I have reservations about him. And yeah, I agree with your assessment on Alex Jones. I agree with your assessment on Luke Rudkowski, which he's going to talk about more. But Luke Rudkowski is nowhere near what Julian Assange has been doing and is currently going through. Can't associate these two people. You can easily put two people in controlled opposition as far as putting them within the media spotlight. Julian Assange wasn't in the media spotlight. He had the information that was important to be leaked out to everybody so people know what's going on within governments, which governments are not transparent at all. And they didn't put him up into some media platform where he gets millions of viewers. No. Heck, he barely gets any viewers. But a lot of people still support what he did and whatever other whistleblower is doing. So can't put him up there in the likes of Luke Rudkowski, who was pretty much also working with Alex Jones. And I don't think he even mentioned that either.
Kissinger and ask him questions with a camera in his fucking hand, which, if you don't know how these things fucking work, nobody, you could not fucking do that. By the time you got within 15 feet of that table where Kissinger and other fucking leaders of heads of state were sitting, there would be about 9 guys with 18 hands all over you, calmly leading you out of there.
I'll agree with that. But again, now, these two poor examples, did Alex Jones or Luke Rudkowski, with all their millions of views, ever release early footage like Collateral Murder that the government had did, which was not supposed to be leaked out to the public? The answer is no. Two piss poor examples.
And then you'd be interrogated for about 48 hours. Asking you why you're there, trying to fucking talk to Henry Kissinger with a goddamn camera in your hand. But he's allowed to do it. He was also allowed to get on fucking Pedo Island and show nothing. But that was big news because there was another big story as far as Jeffrey Epstein was concerned coming out. So that was well timed. He was allowed to do it. Of course, people are running around. I've seen all kinds of YouTubers talking, oh, we're going to talk to Luke. He's the hot interview right now. Oh, my God, he was on Pedo Island. He did nothing. He showed nothing. He didn't even try to get to the house and interview some of the fucking people working there. No, he just ran around giggling like a little schoolgirl. And then he was drunk in the after fucking interview, in the wrap-up segment afterwards, where they just grifted, trying to get money for one of these two guys or the other, and then selling some fucking tickets to his Acapulco fucking COINTELPROCON event. My co-host is trying to steal the show again. Anyway, so you got there's 2. I'm going to give you a third.
Hopefully the third is going to be better than your first 2, because your first 2 sucked ass.
And we're going to go current real quick for you. Remember, this is getting to the point where I can answer his question about collateral murder. He asked why. Elliot, you asked why. I'm telling you why, and I'm giving you examples of how this shit works.
And those first 2 examples didn't ever release early footage like collateral murder or thousands of cables and war logs. The one who did was Julian Assange.
James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe really hasn't given a shit about fucking Epstein.
So the third person is James O'Keefe, another media person. And let me ask you this, Church Dog. Did James O'Keefe ever leak collateral damage, early footage of collateral damage? Any war logs and things like that? No, he did not. So these 3 examples are horrible. And please, I just can't. All right. 16 minutes and 44 seconds. Okay, so this should be like he's going to say he answered it in the 37 minutes 58 seconds, which is going to be cutting it close because I got to go leave and pick up my daughter in a bit. So let's just keep it going.
Up until now, because it's a hot fucking topic, but also because Luke Rudkowski's allowed to get on fucking Pedo Island. He's allowed to get on Pedo Island. That island used to host some of the leading world figures.
I don't want to stop so much, but I do. Nothing about this is talking about how Julian Assange is a CIA honeypot asset. None of this. You're just talking about Alex Jones right now, Luke Rudkowski, and James O'Keefe as examples. Yet nothing points to Julian Assange at all. This is your final dissertation, and you're going to talk about Alex Jones, Luke Rudkowski, and James O'Keefe. And how does that tie into Julian Assange?
Some of the richest people in the country and in the world. Many say it was set up so that they could secretly record all these people and fucking blackmail them. But however you want to look at it, Bo, come here. However you want to look at it, one thing's for damn sure. They got a fucking security system out the ass on that fucking island. I promise you that. They got fucking princes on that goddamn island. They got presidents on that goddamn island. I guarantee you they got a security system out the ass on that island. And somehow or another, this dipshit just hops off a fucking boat on the main goddamn dock and runs down the dock and runs around the fucking island. And no one knows? Bullshit. They let him do it. Just like, so you have that, you have what's-his-face coming back out with the guy who fucking poo-pooed on the Kennedy assassination investigation. And you have this, all around the same time. Here is a woman, Amy Robach, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and a hot mic. That's not a hot mic. That's a camera. And she's talking to, apparently, if they're there, other people sitting around the fucking table. Having a candid conversation. Talking about, what they knew and how much information, the story she had.
Please
about fucking
tie it into Julian Assange
3 years ago. But they wouldn't let us do it. They wouldn't let us run with it. ABC wouldn't let them run with it. Oh my God! And there he goes. And what's his big fucking thing? ABC exposed. Right. Who killed?
If you guys want to see the rest of this, please watch it on your own. 19 minutes mark. Let's see if on the transcripts if he says it all after 19 minutes, because I just what? No, he doesn't say it again till the 28th minute. Okay, maybe he says Assange. Okay, he does. I'm just going to skip over to the 26 minute and 52 second mark, maybe a little bit more, just to save me 7 minutes of torture.
I've really gone to the WikiLeaks website. They don't have the history of WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks published fucking bullshit, disinformation about Putin, bullshit, disinformation about Assange. I mean, not Assange, about Assad. Bullshit.
Now, I would love to know the disinformation that you're talking about. That would be good. Can you elaborate on that? Because that would probably provide some good material against Assange and WikiLeaks. This would be great because so far people think that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks have pointed out factual information that has never been disproven. It's always been 100% as far as what they release. That it's just basically original information that's just sent out to the public, redacted to protect certain individuals. But you've got proof that there are all these disinformation stuff inside WikiLeaks releases. That would be great to know. Please don't say you've got links to previous material on it. State 3 examples. Hopefully not the 3 same examples that you put out before, like Alex Jones, Luke Rukowski, and James O'Keefe.
Shit disinformation about fucking Muammar Gaddafi. All of this stuff designed to help promote in the anti-war left the subjects of regime change. They did this WikiLeaks.
So, are you for war, church dog? Like, anti-war is good. Are you for regime change? Because, I mean, things were quite stable in a lot of those places. So, I don't know what you're for. You're just against. I would love to hear you elaborate on that, but you're closing in on the hour and 5 mark. You haven't answered anything as far as why Julian Assange is a CIA asset.
Did this repeatedly. Because again, all they were publishing was stuff from State Department cables. Okay?
Not always. There's the DNC email leaks. There's leaks from John Podesta. There's plenty of leaks out there. Stuff State Department cables.
So, if you understand the purpose of WikiLeaks, now of course WikiLeaks was also founded by, obviously, a bunch of fucking Hong Kong dissidents, anti-Chinese dissidents.
Are these like the same Hong Kong dissidents who are like protesting against China in Hong Kong right now? Are these like the same dissidents?
Run by, paid by National Endowment for Democracy, Central Intelligence Agency, USAID. The same people that fucking Edward Snowden went and hung out with.
I wonder if he's like, the Yellow Jackets are CIA PSYOP. Oh, the JFK, the Million Man March? Yeah, that was a CIA PSYOP. He's probably going to be like, yeah, all this revolutionary stuff, CIA PSYOPs. Where they actually change things. This guy's killing me.
Did his first interview with Glenn Greenwald. And the same people who are today throwing firebombs at police officers in Hong Kong, pushing for our regime change operation there, and the same people who are attacking civilians who live in Hong Kong, their neighbors, because they just happen to speak Chinese.
Like,
that's who helped.
What dialect of Chinese? Is it because they're speaking Cantonese? Or are they speaking Mandarin? Are they speaking any other thing? Even details like that are quite important. You've got your whole screen, just like I'm sharing my screen, and just a small snippet of myself. At least when I actually talk about certain things like that, I will actually point to material that's presented by others, mainstream media, alternative media, heck, my own little thoughts on it. None of that appears. You got 95% of your screen wasted. Is it time yet? I really want to go. 28 minutes. 9 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Oh, gosh. I don't know why I do this to myself.
Up and started WikiLeaks. If you remember John Young from Cryptome, a real leak publishing website. His first opinion about fucking... He actually worked with... They wanted him to be the front man as opposed to Julian Assange. But he refused eventually because he figured out when they were asking for $5...
They? Who are they? Did that person specify who they were? And they're going to put another person as the front person because of the stuff that person leaked. Instead, they put Julian Assange, and all the stuff that's leaked was disinfo. You know, I think the whole purpose is to get people confused. I'm confused. I still don't know. What's this video about? Oh, wait. Final dissertation on Julian Assange of the Deep State. All right. So, look, who knows? Maybe it's all true. But you know what, Church Dog? You've got a horrible way of presenting it.
$5 million before they had published a single guide.
And look, if you just gave out 3 good pieces of evidence, I would be putting out videos too. Do you understand that? This is not an attack on you personally. This is more like, give us the answers so we can investigate, and heck, we'll have it. You're just gonna have a lot of people making YouTube videos. Hey, maybe we were wrong about Julian Assange. This is not helping any of that. No one else is gonna make videos supporting your dissertation on Julian Assange because there's nothing to work with. Is that what you want? You don't want anyone to work with this to get it out there? Or what is your ultimate reasoning?
Damn paper that it was a fraud. And not only that, he said it was in all likelihood a CIA honeypot, which is a term used to describe such things.
Okay, so you're saying Julian Assange is a CIA honeypot because someone else said he was a CIA honeypot. Because so that could have been you could start it off with that. That's one thing, so we could review it and we could go over that.
Now, all that aside,
that was the one side that you actually had going for you. John Young. All right, so
of the history of what they've actually published. We have how they got set up. We got who promoted them. We got John Young, a guy who would know, starting off the whole fucking thing saying, he went on Democracy Now! And said this, saying this is a fucking probably in all likelihood a CIA honeypot.
Yeah. You know, the thing with Democracy Now! Sellout. Do you not know that? Amy Goodman, oh my goodness.
We've got all of that. I'm not going to get into Ecuador. I will in a minute, but right now we're going to move on to collateral murder. Why collateral murder? Let's go back to the Bohemian Grove. Go back to the fucking...
What? Collateral murder? Now you're going back to Bohemian Grove and Alex Jones? Why don't you start and keep going with the collateral murder? You know what this reminds me of? My face when Bad Santa. When what's that actor's name? Who is from Three's Company? You know, when he's talking about, oh man, you just look on his face. This is just painful.
Shadow Island, nothing. Go back to the ABC News, nothing. When they realized they needed something big, it wasn't enough just getting fucking promotion from Time Magazine, from the New York Times, from the Washington Post, from Cass Sunstein. It wasn't enough to get, because they weren't getting enough attention. They needed more attention. They needed something big. They needed something to pop. But they couldn't come out with, something real, like the Abu Ghraib torture fucking pictures. because that would fuck them up. They had to come up with something that would look horrible, but actually, if you take the time to take the fucking glasses off and stop seeing what you want to see and see what's actually there, you'll say, wait a minute, I get this. And they dug and dug and dug and found collateral murder. Now, collateral murder came out during the Obama administration. I think, yes. But it was committed during the Bush administration. So it wasn't even like the current president could get in trouble or be censured or even impeached over it. That's the first thing. That's the first clue. They went back and found something. Listen, you could find tons of shit that the U.S. did.
Yeah. And that's from whistleblowers. Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden, Julian Assange. How else would we have known all this stuff, Church Dog? Would we have found it from Alex Jones, Luke Rukowski, James O'Keefe? So pointed towards Julian Assange as being a CIA honeypot asset. Half the video is done and you haven't even got to it. And you're pretty much done at the 38-minute mark where you say that should answer your question on a collateral murder. It doesn't.
Where they got the fucking confessions from the goddamn mastermind of 9/11. There's tons of shit that could have been leaked. Killing civilians, hiring fucking death squads across Iraq. Salvador option. Tons of shit. But they come up with collateral murder. What did you see in collateral murder? I'm going to say this one last time.
No, don't say it again.
They needed something that looked like this, but was actually this.
Thanks.
What you saw in collateral murder was, in your opinion,
this guy's worse than the Globe Earth trolls. I'm serious. At least the Globe Earth trolls make me laugh. This guy, I can't work with any of this stuff.
A bunch of fucking trigger happy yahoos see a bunch of guys on the street and decide to shoot them up because they're a bunch of guys and a couple of them have guns. They're just yahoos. What you saw was that scene in fucking...
This is Chelsea Manning. Okay, get on with it. So I was Julian Assange, a CIA honeypot. I know we're almost done. I don't want to listen to this anymore.
No, I don't know what fucking movie it is where he goes, well, how can you shoot women and children? You just don't lead them as much. That's what you think you saw. That's not what you saw.
All right, so what did we see?
What you saw in collateral murder was a gunship cruising around that had been called there by our ground forces who were making their way up the street. They had come under fire from insurgents. Should they have been there? No. Should we have been there? No. But the reality is they were there. And soldiers in the air were called to come look after soldiers on the ground.
And how do you know all this info? Are you taking this info from the leaks that were released? Or is this inside info that you got on your own from the CIA or the military? How do you know this information? And if it is from WikiLeaks, then why do you trust it? I thought it was all this info. Yet if it's in from the military and all this other stuff, please tell us where you got this information. That no one else knows the reality of what was going on. So are you getting this information from mainstream media, Church Dog? Do you trust mainstream media over... So gives this information the public doesn't have access to, doesn't tell us where he's getting this information. If the public has access to it, it's been leaked. And who leaked it? Is it can be WikiLeaks? Is it can be mainstream media? In either course, You're not going to trust this information, church dog. So why are you spouting it out?
Who had taken fire. Okay? That's why they were there. They were scouting ahead, and they see this group of men. One of whom is kneeling behind a fucking wall, holding something up that looked an awful lot like an RPG. And you hear him yell, RPG, RPG, RPG. That something was a telephoto lens. And in the fucking report afterwards, the after-action report afterwards, they developed...
After-action report. So this is the military? This is a military report that was released? Is that what you're saying? And you trust the military to report what happened that was a big backlash against the military and the involvement overseas, and you're going to trust the military on this? I don't get this guy. I just don't get this guy. He hasn't answered any question yet. 151. All right. I think we've got 4 minutes left. Let's finish. I'm not going to stop.
Developed that fucking last picture taken on that camera, and it was of the Humvee that was moving with the guys on the ground. It was looking right at him. They were photographers. And sometimes photographers and news people, they get a couple of dudes with weapons.
Talk about how this
to move with
ties
them
into Julian Assange
as they go through a fucking zone to take pictures because it makes them
Tell us
safer.
how this ties into Julian Assange.
They were photographers.
Tell us how this ties into Julian
They were not the same
Assange.
group that had been the insurgents. If you watch the full video, after the whole thing takes place, after the fucking kids in the fucking van get taken off to the fucking get medical attention, the thing keeps circling, and the insurgents that they were
Tell
looking
us how
for
this ties into
end up
Julian
running into
Assange.
a fucking building, and a goddamn hellfire missile is shot into the building.
Tell
After
us
civilians
how
walk
this ties
into the
Julian
building.
Assange.
That's a crime. But the insurgents were there, but they just weren't the same part of that group.
Goodness. I know what
Once
hell
they
it's like.
were yelling that it was an
listen to this
RPG.
guy.
They assumed that that was the group of insurgents.
It's like asking him a
They asked
question
for fucking permission,
and
they
getting
were
an
given
hour-long
the okay to fire, and they fired.
dissertation that has
And
nothing
they
to
tore
do with
those
the
men
question I asked. This is what hell
And
is
they
like.
did so gleefully. Why?
Why is the sky blue?
First of all,
First off,
soldiers
you
in
need to
combat are
check
taught
out all my material
to
on why the
enjoy
sky was blue. It's
killing
not
the
all up
fucking
there
enemy
yet, but check
because
it
the
out.
enemy is not a fucking person.
Now,
So when
to
you
find
listen
out
to the
why
fucking
the
thing,
sky
you
is
go, "Oh my
blue,
God, listen to how gleeful he is."
you've
shooting
got to
those
understand
civilians
that
up.
there's
He's just
three
so happy to shoot
examples
civilians.
of why the
He
sky
does
is
in
blue.
his.
One
He's
of them
not shooting civilians.
is Alex
He's
Jones.
shooting the people that were about to shoot an RPG at his
Second is
fucking
Luke
brothers
Rudkowski.
in arms.
And the third example of why the sky is blue is
That's
James
why
O'Keefe.
they chose that. That's why
Now, why it
nobody was ever
rains
prosecuted.
in order to find out why the sky is blue?
Is it a fog of war?
Precipitation.
Yes. Is it a mistake? Yes. Is it a bad one that
precipitation.
cost people lives? Yes. Was it horrible those kids were shot in the fucking van? Yes.
Oh, gosh.
But is that the worst war crime we could possibly have have shown people from WikiLeaks to get? No.
Tie this into Julian Assange,
Not even
please.
close.
Tie it
Shit
all in.
that we did in fucking Afghanistan and in Iraq, in Nicaragua, and El Salvador, and fucking Chile. The shit that we did, there could be thousands
Birds, when they fly in
of
the air,
leaked fucking videos.
they
that
get
would
wet
vastly
when it rains.
surpass that, and actually be legitimately showing us exposing war crimes. They deliberately selected this one
gosh.
because it wasn't.
More people watch his stuff and give him more
thought it
likes.
was.
I don't know what's going on in the world.
But it wasn't.
I really don't. I don't.
It's just that fucking simple. You ask, why would they leak footage like Collateral Murder? because it served their interest and it didn't really expose anything other than it's a bad situation over there. People get confused. People make mistakes. Is it Abu Ghraib? No. The Abu Ghraib photos showed something vastly different.
Let's tie it all into Julian Assange, please.
Okay? There's your answers.
Those were no answers. There's not one answer. None. At most, John Young from Cryptome, and not Cryptome. I don't know why you call it Cryptome. It's Cryptome. Is it Cryptome? It sounds more like Cryptome. Why say it as Cryptome? Makes no sense. Okay, that's it. I don't know why I'm still smiling after all this. It's like, I just got through a torture session. Ebon got through a torture session. Final dissertation. I really do sincerely hope this was your final dissertation on Julian Assange, churchdog42, because I can't handle making any more of these videos. I can't. I would hope other people make these videos instead, because I seriously can't. maybe if I do, I just have to make it more enjoyable, because less of you talking and just something short and sweet like this. You know, this was I could handle.
And so actually, technically, I was on the CIA payroll.
That's it. Game over, folks. Good night. Actually, good afternoon. I may do a video later on tonight of the whole Seattle 11.3 prediction that didn't occur, which where people pushed it quite far. What happened to it? You know, I think it's going to be a lot like the situation with the, you know, there are no forests on flat Earth. That just got people ridiculing flat earthers. Same thing. The whole premise of the 11.3 or 3.11 is to make fun of the 9/11 truthers. It's like, hey, they thought something was going to happen because of predictive programming on cartoons like The Simpsons. Therefore, yeah, 9/11 9/11 truthers, conspirators, etc., conspiracy theorists, whatever, bunch of whack jobs. And again, a lot of people who are pushing the Seattle 11.3 don't really know their names or their faces. So there's no backlash to any of them. And I have a theory, another conspiracy theory, that these anonymous people who have pushed 3.11 or 11.3 Seattle are going to say, hey, us knowing about it and looking at it through the CCTV live feeds in Seattle, we prevented a second or third 9/11 event. We did it. We saved the world. That is my conspiracy theory on that. You're going to see a lot of pushing by these anonymous people that they helped save another false flag event. And then you're going to have the mainstream media pushing against that, saying, hey, look at that. They failed to predict a predictive programming conspiracy theory about Seattle that was supposed to occur on November 3rd, 2019. So that is going to be my next video that I hope I will be able to do later on tonight. So thank you for joining me on this one, and I'm sorry it was torturous if it was as torturous as it was to me. All right, so thank you very much, and I'll see you later.